guys, I thought it would be fun if for today's video I do a cozy little reading vlog and then chat about the books that I've read recently. Okay, let's get into it. And yes, I am sitting on the floor because I'm charging my phone. Just disregard that. First book that I want to talk about is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tortera. The main character, Lucy, wakes up covered in her best friend's blood with no recollection of what happened. Lucy could not be prosecuted because there was just not enough evidence. There's a lot of holes in the story, so the case goes unsolved for many, many years. A true crime podcaster that picks up the story years later wants to interview Lucy and get her side of the story. I loved the podcast element because it was so immersive. I listened to it on audiobook and I would totally recommend that. It was absolutely one of those books where the second you think you know what's going on, another clue comes in and totally flips the perspective, and then you don't know what to think. This was an easy 5-star read for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. If you like fast-paced psychological thriller books, totally recommend this for you. The next book that I read was The Divorce by Frida McFadden. This was a 3-star read for me, which is pretty typical of my ratings for Frida McFadden books. I did enjoy it, but it was very unrealistic. So on this couple's 5th year wedding anniversary, the husband says to the wife, I am going to pay to have our kitchen renovated, so you need to go stay at, it's like a relative's apartment building. And she's like, okay then. Mind you, they live in a really nice house and they don't need the renovation, but he says it's their anniversary gift. So she's like, okay. She goes and stays there, and then he essentially asks for a divorce, and he says that was his way of getting her out of the house, and everything kind of unravels from there. Without saying too much, you really have to suspend your belief in this book. It was a fun read, but just so unrealistic, and I was getting so mad at, honestly, every character. Every character sucked in this book, except for the 5-year-old. We'll leave him out of it. He was fine, but everyone else in this book sucked. The premise of this book was very interesting. I love domestic thrillers, so I was excited to read it, but overall kind of disappointed. It was just so ridiculous and far-fetched, and everyone annoyed me. The next book that I read was Breakneck Bay by Faith Gardner. This story follows a marine biologist who returns to this small coastal town. Things quickly take a dark turn when mysterious things start happening, and this is at Breakneck Bay, which is a water park. One of the workers at the water park goes missing, and then a bunch of messy workplace drama happens from there. This book ended up being so much darker than I anticipated, and I loved that. It was actually really scary at times. Really liked how the book jumped between timelines, and it was in a really clean, cut and dry way. It wasn't confusing, so I really liked that. This was a really solid and entertaining read. It wasn't anything mind-blowing or groundbreaking, but really entertaining and fun. My rating was 4 stars. The setting of this book just makes it the perfect summer read. The next book that I read was Creep by Jennifer Hillier. This book totally caught me off guard, and it really shouldn't have because I am a huge fan of Jennifer Hillier. She always has very creepy, disturbing books, but this one just took the cake. This story follows a psychiatrist who is stalked, and she has an obsessive stalker, and it just goes downhill from there. It started out like a slow burn psychological thriller, but it definitely veered into horror, and I loved it. I feel like I can't say much about this book without spoiling it, so I'm just gonna keep it really vague, but very disturbing and creepy. And would I recommend? Yes, 100%. And the twists were twisting. I was shocked. The only reason I wasn't able to give it a full 5 stars is just because it felt very slow in the first probably 50 pages. I did enjoy it still, but yeah, it felt very slow. So that's the only reason it's not a full 5 star. There is actually a part 2 to this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely going to. This next book, oh my god, you guys, I finally read Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. It is definitely in my top 5 favorite books. I can absolutely understand why this is a classic thriller, and I can't believe it took me so long to read it, but I'm glad I did. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. The story follows Nick and Amy after Amy suddenly disappears on their 5th wedding anniversary. As the investigation unfolds, you slowly realize nothing is as it seems. I went into this blind other than knowing that it's a very popular book, but it totally exceeded my expectations. I should have known that it was going to be really good because it's Gillian Flynn and she's one of my favorite authors. But yeah, literally as soon as I finished the book, I forced my husband to watch the movie with me, and it was amazing as well. Totally 5-star read. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this little reading vlog and my reviews. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!